question I want to ask you, because just now you was like, you broke down, you have a partner and everything. Like the poem you just started off with, I know that you know how to, as a woman, you still flirty, but not in a way where as though you making somebody feel like, oh, she want me. But you use your sexuality as a weapon somewhere.
A weapon?
Am I wrong?
I don't think it's a weapon.
Sexuality is a weapon.
A weapon?
Sexuality is a fucking weapon against men.
Why is it a weapon?
Because y'all can crush us. I just don't think most women know they can crush us. And let me say this. If women knew...
If you think it's a weapon, it's because you feel intimidated.
No, let me say that. No, not me. Not me.
Well, okay, we're talking about yous, the women, and then the men. So, I don't... It's only a weapon
I said it the wrong way. Let me say that like this.
We definitely do use our advantage.
Yeah. Let me reword it. Let me say this. You are comfortable in your sexuality.
Yes.
And still being a woman even though you're gay.
What? So I can't be gay and
no,
be
you
sexy?
can't. But most of the time when no, you can't. But what I'm saying to you is, from what I've seen, or maybe I'm narrow-minded, or maybe I don't know everybody that's gay, because I can't say that. When I'm saying from what I've seen with most women is gay, they don't dance on the line of being sexual or check me, don't get me in trouble.
Yeah, I'm like,
don't be back now.
You don't hang in the circles.
But see,
women is sex.
But see, that's what it might be. What you just said. Yeah. I'm not going to the gay cookouts.
Well, also, I was doing a poem, so I was performing in your camera, but I don't think that I think people wear.
I'm boxing it.
Yes, you're boxing.
I'm boxing it.
You're boxing it.
I'm boxing it.
And I don't think that people wear gay like the unfortunately trained stereotypical mind sees gay. Mm-hmm. I'm sure if you went anywhere in Atlanta, you would have passed 50 completely lesbian, not bisexual, not going back and forth, not got a man and got a woman, women, that you're just like, oh, that's Carol. Carol, fuck, why did I use Carol? That's Keisha, and that's
Karen.
Whatever. Not them motherfuckers.
Let's use Karen.
Carol can be black. That's Keisha. That's Lindsay. That's whoever. And I think they're just being themselves.
Most definitely.
And I think sometimes when people are gay, we might have our little gay radar and we just be like, "What up?" But I think when people are just being themselves, I've had people ask me during Gay Pride if I was really gay, and I'm like, yeah, but I guess I don't know what I'm not doing.
Yeah, you know what it is? I know how to explain it to you from a man's point of view. And then men, I need you to chime in with me. Don't have me out here drowning.
I can't wait to hear this.
Most of the time with women, right? With gay women, it's just like this fucking radar of don't fucking, you invisible to me. You understand that? Maybe you have to be a man to feel that.
So I'm invisible to you?
No. What I'm saying is like the energy that women get off this gay, it's almost like, don't you even fucking try to come my way.
Oh, I don't give a
But it's not like they look at you this way. It's not they say it out their mouth. It's just an energy. You don't have that energy. I know how to metaphorically say it. Don't you know how somebody come out the army and they got that little robotic energy? I'm saying that's how when somebody come out the army or the Navy or any type of military branch and they was like, yeah, I was in the army. You like, damn, you were? You can't even, you were? You was in the army? You was in the military? Or a person that got out of jail. They got a certain type of aura.
I think the biggest problem with...
Am I tripping? You understand the metaphor I'm trying to break down?
I do,
okay. You don't wear that. You don't wear a shield of...
I don't know which way I'm supposed to be angry here. I'm like...
Don't be angry. No, I'm not trying to...
No. I know you're not trying to be offensive.
I'm trying to understand.
I got you. I know you're not trying to be offensive. I was just thinking that it's so amazing that if someone is or isn't gay, that we need to know so that we can determine how to operate with them instead of just operating with them as if they're a human being. So if you saw, we're just going to use me and you as just as an example. This is just an example to your wife, anybody out there, to my partner. That if you saw me at the park and you were like, she's not exuding come attraction, like male energy, that you wouldn't just talk to me anyway? Because you may be assuming or boxing me into this gay energy.
Let me say this to you. The same way when you was at the parade and they said, you're not gay. What they're trying to say is that energy, you don't have that.
Interesting.
That's what they're saying. I'm saying the same thing.
Okay. So what is gay energy? Well,
you know what I had to do? I had to point it out to you. If I'm around some people,
I was gonna say it's not that we can't.
And I ain't talking about the way you dress.
No.
You can be dressed up like any kind of way you want, but I'm talking about like it's like don't.
What's so funny about me is that I'm either like this in my athletic gear or super femme.
All right, let me say this.
Or ultra femme.
Do you know how like somebody came out of jail and they got that jail energy?
Yes.
And you ever be around somebody that's been in jail 20 years and they don't have it at all, and you're like, damn, you did 20?
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm saying it's a certain thing. I can't put my fucking. I can't break it down in words.
You're not the only one who said that. And like I said, I've heard that before. It's just interesting to me. But I think that's just me just wanting to be myself and
that's what you should do.
And wanting to be fluid in whatever situation that I'm in.
You know
but also standing up for women's rights, gay rights, black rights. Not necessarily in any of those orders. Just. When it comes up, but I think that I'm a cyclist, I'm a runner, I'm a swimmer, I'm a marathoner, and then just in those areas, that's what I am. And then if the other things happen to come up, then they happen to come up.
But I also feel like you had to figure out who you were early because you was in a situation where it's like, you got to figure out your own identity. So at an early age, you can correct me if I'm wrong because you would know better than me.
Still, that's interesting that you say that because why is my Wi-Fi box not plugged in? Is it
I unplugged it.
I was like, I know I paid my bill. I was like, what? I was like, hold on.
I was like, somebody ain't time.
No, I was like, I be up on my bills. I be scared as hell. Like, woo. Too old for Wi-Fi to be going out for $65 a month. Okay. So, fuck, what was I saying? Oh,
Don't let me lead this motherfucking interview and make me look fucked up.
No.
Don't have me out here looking crazy.
No, what's interesting is, for some reason, I never want to be figured out. Like, as soon as my current partner was like, I know you, I got you figured out, I was like, oh no, I'm figured out. Because then I feel in a box. Right. No matter if it's 1,000 boxes, I'm like, no, don't figure me out. I want to be whatever the fuck I want to be when I want to be it. So she says that I make up shit in my head all the time. I'm like, why not? Like, reality is stupid sometimes. So.
Yeah, it is.
Good.
It is. I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like at a young age, I feel like you figured out it's okay to be you.
I think the opposite. I think I'm always trying to figure out who I am.
I feel it.
I feel like it's actually the complete opposite. I feel like I don't know who the fuck I am, and it's changing moment by moment. I had something,
and that's okay. But I feel like, let me ask you: are you okay with that happening?
It still bothers me because when I'm being my genuine self and something doesn't go as planned for myself, my plan, I'm like, fuck, what did I do wrong? Something happened to me this morning that I was like, what happened? What did I do? And I have a little OCD and a little control issue, so I have to learn how to let it go. Yeah, how to let it go, and I don't know how to yet, but it's only been today.
Before we move on, I want to make sure I'm clear. Did I do anything or say anything that's fucked up? Because I need to make sure I'm good. Not with just you, with anybody I just said. Because I know you, when you saying certain shit, you got to make sure you clear, because
I think if you're being genuine, there's nothing wrong with you not understanding something. I don't feel like you attacked anybody. I don't feel like you said anything offensive. I feel like you're trying to figure it out.
I'm ignorant to this.
Yes,
I'm ignorant to certain things. I'm trying to make sure that I understand certain things. Or maybe I don't understand it.
Yeah. But let me tell you, so something that somebody said to me, I was on a lesbian retreat, and shout out to Shade's retreat. So I was on this retreat long time ago, 2009, and I remember saying at the retreat that somebody wanted, I was at a job, maybe I was doing temp work for Home Depot or something, and somebody wanted me to stand up and be the gay representative at this job. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't anything bad. They wanted me to be like, well, she was gay, you do such, whatever it was. It wasn't anything bad, but I don't remember what it was. And I remember saying at the retreat that I was uncomfortable with being the representative. And I remember the women at the retreat were angry with me. They were like, you're the reason why rights can't, we can't progress, and people like you who don't stand up for it. And I was like, whoa.
What was that? They gay too?
Yeah, it was a whole lesbian
you
retreat.
Fucking do it then.
Wait.
I'm sorry. Cool. I'm sorry.
So the moderator of the retreat said something so profound that I'll never forget. No matter what people's chronological age is, you can't, as a other person, determine where they are in their journey of self-discovery. Mm-hmm. So if somebody decided today, you know what, I'm gay, I've always felt like I'm gay, I'm a lesbian, I'm gonna tell my mom and tell my parents, this is day one. Mm-hmm. And they could be 50, 70, 80, 18, whatever, you know? So just because they're older, mm-hmm. and we weren't, and that was like, 11 years ago. Mm-hmm. So even whatever age they are doesn't mean that on day one they've figured out what it's like to be a lesbian or to live a gay life. You have to let people evolve in their own time. Mm-hmm. And just because I didn't want to stand up and be like, I'm the gay representative, doesn't mean that I was going to be like, no, I'm not. It's just that I was still figuring myself out.
Most definitely.
So I know that I've always preferred women. I love men, had a child with a man. Guys flirt with me all the time. I flirt with them. I liked having sex with them. I have a partner now that I've never cheated on. So I haven't had sex with a man in a very long time, but shit.
But that's what
we simulate as much as possible. So
I think I figured out. From my thought process, and you check me if I'm wrong. Okay. This is what it is. What you just said.
Okay.
You know how you said you could still see men, and you probably look at men and be like, "Oh, he's handsome," or "He's."
Yes, absolutely.
I think the women I'm talking about, they look at men and be like, "Ugh." That's what I'm talking about.
So I think maybe that's a stereotype that could come off as offensive, and that you should leave in this interview, because I think that
I'm cutting this.
Hell,
I offended people. I'm cutting it off.
No. Listen, because I think a lot of people think that just because you love women, you hate men. I don't think
No.
Works
I'm
like
not
that.
saying hate.
Okay, now
I'm saying on a sexual level.
I don't think any woman that's gay. I don't think any woman because that's like saying, let's take a celebrity. Mm-hmm. You mean to tell me every lesbian in the world doesn't find one male celebrity handsome? Let's use somebody intangible, okay. Not just the dude walking down the street. Because she may not look at him like, that's the mailman. No, thank you, I'm good. But if Idris Elba, we just use it. Denzel, whoever the fuck is out, who's attractive right now? I don't even I can't even think of whoever. Michael B. Jordan, mm-hmm. Love him. Would love to have sex with them. That's great. I won't because I'm in a relationship. And I respect our boundaries and our agreements. But he's attractive. I don't think that you could say that if you lined up every lesbian in the entire world, they're gonna be like, no.
I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm not saying
that.
I'm not saying.
But I think there's that thought process that just because you're pro-black, you hate white. That's not.
You can walk and chew gum.
You can walk and chew gum.
Most definitely.
If there are two plumbers,
I'm not saying that.
If there are two plumbers,
okay.
They have the equal amount of resume. They have the equal skill set. Mm-hmm. One's black, one's white. I'm choosing the black guy because I'm black. Because I'm supporting my people.
Most definitely.
If one's black, one's white. The one that is white is gay. Then what? Then what do you do? One's white and gay. One's black and straight. And we're not even saying male or female.
Right.
So then you're like, I'm still going to black person. So I don't know. You know what I mean? You just make those profiling decisions every single day of our life.
Most definitely. But I wasn't saying all women. They're all gay. I wasn't saying that.
No, I don't think that you were saying that, but I think that is a common thought process that needs to be debunked for the gay and lesbian community.
Give me 5 more.
Well, first of all, never think that a man don't love some goddamn women, because they do all the fucking time. So I think that's another thing too, is like, just because a man is gay doesn't mean they're like, oh, I can't stand women. No, I don't think that at all. I get lots of compliments from gay men, and they you know, keep it moving. You look great, girl. You know.
I understand. I appreciate you.
So I think the bigger message here is just,
don't box people in.
Don't box people in, and treat every single person individually as you meet them.
Oh, most definitely.
Not as other people
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. You definitely should. I mean, from my perspective, you definitely got to treat people like human, because you never know who the fuck you dealing with.
Ever.
You never know who you dealing with.
Ever.
Yeah. You got to think. You got to think about people's feelings. Mm-hmm. You got to think about people how you want to be talked to, and not just gay, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, everybody. Because at the bottom line, motherfucker, that's what I already say. At the bottom line, everybody's just human.
Everybody's
human. You could be a piece of shit and be straight. You could be a piece of shit and be gay. You could be cool as shit straight. You could be cool as shit gay. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or white, or whatever the case might be. But that also, to me, that goes into the boxes of what we was talking about, far as really, I think a lot of things we were talking about were just different levels of boxes from my perspective.
Remember that song by Lupe Fiasco?
Which one?
The Boxes.
I love Lupe. I've seen him live twice, I believe. What? The Boxes. How I go? I don't know. I'll look it up. Yeah, I'm gonna put it right here.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, put it right there.
I like Lupe. You've been watching his videos. He's just talking. He be talking about some deep shit on them interviews. I mean, I guess he's just interviewing himself, just talking about his perspective, how he see life. Okay. When you was talking about, you were saying like you took a break because you was having some mental health issues. What are some of the? You don't have to go into detail if you want to.
I don't mind.
What are some of the things you've overcome, and how do you continue to make yourself stronger? That's the question I have for you.
So, when we couldn't, one of my strongest abilities is to organize. And organizing takes a lot. It has a lot of moving parts, a lot of details, and it kept me busy. It kept me feeling like I had something to do. I was working. Even if what I was organizing wasn't being produced for 2 months in the future. And when COVID hit, my partner and I were also going through our individual health issues and some relationship challenges. And I was feeling purposeless. And since I'm a writer, I like to read and watch a lot of Netflix. I watch Netflix and Prime, unless somebody suggests something else. Okay. And I probably watch everything on Netflix now, but I mean, I do have cable, but I don't channel flip. I only watch TV at night when I'm going to bed. Like, that's it. I don't, as you can see, there are 0 TVs in the house.
Most definitely. A lot of books. A lot of good information, too.
Yeah. So, I realized that I like to serve. And that's part of my organizing, is I feel like I'm serving the community somehow.
Is it part of your purpose?
Part of my purpose. And so when that was taken away, the health issues came up for myself, which aren't detrimental, but are something to side-eye. I'll talk about those in a second. It's not fatal, but it's just like, what, bitch, don't you exercise every day? It's really one of those. It's almost like, let's just make up somebody so I don't want to give any, how did Big Bird die and they just fucking ran a marathon? It's like one of those. It's like, what? Yeah. So, so I was feeling, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? And I had to figure that out for myself. And I realized I've always served other people somehow. And even if I wasn't in a a relationship or a serious relationship, I would at least be dating. You know what I mean? And where my partner and I were in a place of purgatory. So it was like I didn't necessarily want to be dating because I wanted to work on me to work on us. And it was probably the first time in my life that I actually thought about it in that order. But my process looked different from her process. And so it was hard also not to compare myself to her process versus my process. Mm-hmm. My process was being by my goddamn self. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that was the thing that necessarily helped. It just was part of my process. I didn't want to see or talk or deal with anybody until I started to just know that
you feel strong enough.
That I feel okay. Not even, let's take out the word strong, that I am enough.
Okay.
But, and because that's the biggest thing is that if I'm not producing these big shows and being Queen Sheba, and am I still enough?
Hell yeah, you dope as fuck. Yeah.
Who knows?
On and off the camera.
I don't know that. Didn't know. It's one of those things.
You are, yeah.
In my bedroom, lying in my bed, thinking about my life, am I enough? And I had to remind myself, or convince is not the word I want to use, but I had to
manipulate yourself?
Teach myself that if I didn't do anything else, if COVID literally kept us in the house for the rest of whatever our lives were,
you're still good.
I'm still have done a lot of life.
Most definitely.
So
you've done way more than a lot of motherfuckers, way older than both of us.
Yeah. So I even think about running one marathon. Running one marathon, if you run one marathon, you're in the 1% of the world. Mm-hmm. So that's enough, So I just had to take those things in consideration, and I was considering plastic surgery and all sorts of shit. Just being like, well, maybe I'm not 5. Who knows? And then I was going out, just expecting this influx of motherfuckers hitting on me, but it's COVID. You know what I mean? So people are like, hey. So I'm also not getting the outside distraction or attention that I thought I needed or thought I wanted during this figuring out phase. Right. And
you ain't right about none of this stuff, at the time?
Of course.
Okay, because that shit always helped me.
Yeah.
So,
plug. So my new book is called Clemency, Learning to Accept the Apologies You'll Never Receive. And
that's the ill title.
Thank you. So right after this interview session, I have an editing session. And it's so funny, just about how I operate. It's like, I'm so excited about a project, but then when I get to the end where the minor details come in, then I start to panic because I'm a big picture thinker. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So then when it gets to the small things like editing, I'm like, oh God, can somebody just fucking edit it and get it back to me? It just, but whatever. So, but that's very important. A poetry book shouldn't just be your fucking journal thoughts. So
I agree. So how do you work through it? Because the only reason I'm asking these questions, I ask these questions during interviews because motherfuckers be if you ain't careful as a poet, you can become to a point where people treat you like you damn near not human. So you showing the world that you're human just like I'm human too. And we all go through shit. Shit be happening. Reality be happening.
Life happens.
Yes.
So I got a therapist through my medical insurance. And so for those artists who are watching this, I have Obamacare. I have Blue Cross and Blue Shield. During COVID, I paid $0 for copays, especially if they were teleconferences. And I think I only paid $40 going in, and I paid $0 a month for this insurance. So, and I say that because so many artists don't have insurance. I'm like, use this fucking Obamacare.
Most definitely.
If you need the phone number, I'm actually gonna give it to y'all on camera because that's how they get people to sign up. Her name is, let's see, her name is face. Her name is Ashley. Her number is 407-574-2153. 407-574-2153. And you just say, hey, you can say my name. Say, I got your number from Miss Rem. I don't know if they care or not. And then say, I'm interested in getting health coverage. And November 1st is coming up, so that's when they open enrollment, and just say, I don't make shit. COVID took my job. Whatever the truth is, and I pay $0 a month. So anyway, so how I got through it was getting an actual therapist through my health insurance, and how I take care of it is by showing up, be it teleconference or in the office. And just because you book a therapist, you still got to show up, you still got to talk, you still got to do the work. And also putting into practice the things that the therapist suggests in your relationship, even if the other person is not doing it. Because a lot of times we'll run into a brick wall. They'll give us tools, they'll give us coping mechanisms, and then the other person is still cussing you out. Fuck you, bitch, you ain't shit just because you come to therapy, la, 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 la. And you're just like, okay, let's keep trying this,
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you have to take yourself out of situations that just aren't working for you. And you have to figure that out and be ready for whatever the trajectory of your life moves.
Mm-hmm.
What is something that's very scary is wanting to have freedom and control at the same time. You can't say, oh, I need to make this move to better myself, but everybody else needs to stay the same just in case I need to come back to this space. No. Once you've moved your car out of the way, you've made room for other cars, basically. So you got to be ready for that. And then I exercise, I eat right, and I also...
We know you motherfucking exercise.
Yeah. But also what's interesting is, so I also go to Progressive Medical Center that's on Shaliford Road up 85 North, and they found some things that were making me depressed were hypothyroidism. My adrenal gland is shot to pieces, so it doesn't give me that, that fight or flight, thing that everybody has. I don't process my food, so that was, and then my lymph nodes are swollen and inflamed. And so once all that balances out, so it's a natural doctor, so I'm taking herbs and medicines, and once I'm balanced back out, then my mood should lift as well. So I'm also on 20 milligrams of Lexapro, and Lexapro is it is a drug. It's not a natural drug. It's not a natural pathway. That is given to me by my general practitioner, and that raises your serotonin level, so you're happier.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it doesn't give you any like weird boosts or anything like that. So cool. I was on 10 milligrams, but then my partner had to leave for 6 weeks, and I was really sad, lonely, missed her a lot, and so I boosted it up to 20, and I'll be back to 10.
When you go through these let me say, if I'm wording something wrong, correct me.
Yeah, that's okay.
When you go through these spells, how long do it take you to get back to you being back to you?
I've never, according to my therapist, I've always been depressed. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So,
how can you know? It's funny. I believe mostly everybody depressed.
Yeah.
And
so
I just don't think people know how to identify that they're going through the shit.
Yeah, I think there's different places on the scale, on the spectrum or whatever. So I think there were times in my life that I knew that I was super happy and doing it up and looking good and feeling good, and then other times I'm like, whoa. Like there is definitely a period, earlier this year that I looked in the mirror and was like, you look old. You look worn. Not even old. You look worn. I don't feel like I look old. You look worn. And I was like, oh yeah. you're going through something, and sometimes you got to get right through the trash to get through the treasure. So, I mean, the writing, exercising, eating right. So I don't drink liquor anymore. And
at all?
No liquor anymore. So I could do wine.
Okay.
Wine.
That's not bad. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely had to change my diet, less sugars, all things that can make you depressed. And I know depressed can be a big, umbrella. And today I'm fine. Today is, it's good. But there are days that just like, the fuck. But because you're a public figure, people only see you when you're in public.
So you always think you're happy.
They always think you up, at least.
Yeah,
you know
lit.
what I mean?
Like what? You got poetry and hip hop? You dance? You do that? Like what's
Yeah,
wrong? Like,
why the hell would you want to throw yourself off a bridge?
Because they don't understand.
Because every day is
demons.
Fighting them demons.
All those fighting demons.
Fighting them demons, and then every day is in poetry versus hip hop.
Yeah.
And even some of the days.
And I want you to understand something. What you just said, that's real.
What?
Every day is in poetry and hip hop. But what you understand is, when you're on stage, motherfuckers look at you like.
Yeah. And then as the artist, you have to be prepared to present.
Yeah, you got to turn it on at all times.
You have to turn it on, and I'm definitely a homebody more than people ever think. Now, like, I like to go out, but I like activity. The club, I don't understand the club.
I like the club when I was younger, but now I ain't fucking with the club.
I don't understand standing around.
You know what? What we doing? Believe it or not, I'd rather talk to people than any of that shit.
So
I like having conversations more than anything.
I prefer a kickback, like Megan Thee Stallion said, "Fuck the club with a kickback."
Yeah.
And then I like activities, so paintball, horseback riding. So I started something on my Instagram that my Saturday adventures, and so people are welcome to join me for my Saturday adventures. I put it out there, hey, this Saturday, meet me at the High Museum. That's 2:00. People come, they don't. Mm-hmm. And I just go on my Saturday adventure. I'm going horseback riding. I'm going canoeing. I'm doing this. And so it's just one to help me get out and be social during this pandemic. Because the pandemic could definitely make an introvert way more introverted.
Most definitely.
And I'm definitely introverted extrovert, I think is introverted extrovert. Yeah. So I definitely love the limelight. I'm a Leo. I like to get dressed up. I like clothes. I like jewelry. I like diamonds. I like gold. I like, Louboutins. I like all that shit. And I also like being in the house. I like working out and coming home and taking a nap.
And watching Netflix. Everything on Netflix.
Netflix.
All right, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Right? When you said Netflix, I look at a lot of TV. Because I look at TV because sometimes I look at TV and I'm like, damn, they wrote that shit masterful. That's how I be looking at TV.
Yeah.
Right?
I watch it I watch to read.
Yeah.
Basically.
My question to you is, what's some shows you watch that I might not know about? Does you like this what you need to see? And I'm gonna give you some stuff that you need to see. So, I'm
into murder mysteries, and
you saw Mindhunters?
Yes.
Okay.
Come on, high school.
Okay.
Yeah, Mindhunters, easy. Ozark.
I like Ozark. They stepped up with season 3. They stepped that shit up, didn't they? I've never seen a show go like.
Yes.
I mean, Game of Thrones did that, but most shows don't go.
Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones was cool until the very end. They was like, fuck it, we finished. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. They really disrespected everything by doing it the way they did it.
I wasn't mad at who they chose, who was going to be like the king of all kings, which kind of made sense, and you really didn't see it coming. But it's just like, okay. You sat there in this wheelchair the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
And everybody's got all these wars going on. You're like, I'm here, bitches. You're like, oh.
When I'm looking at shows, I'll be thinking in my mind like, I can write
Breaking
that better.
Bad.
I can write that better than that. Like the ending of Game of Thrones.
How would you have rewritten Game of Thrones?
Well, that's a couple of things.
Ends.
The couple of things I'd have did. One thing I'd have did, I'd have made the Dragon King and what's an Arya? I'd have made that scene longer. I'd have did that, right? Yeah. That's the first thing I did. I'd have made the dragon scenes towards the end longer between the ice one and the fire. I'd have made that longer. And the very
But they had the longest battle on TV ever.
Yeah, but we didn't really get to see the dragons war. Let's say them fight.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You know, he just threw the thing up there and killed them. You know, like. For us, the ending, what I'd have did different is I'd have made the way Jon Snow killed her, what's her name, Dragon Queen.
Oh yeah.
It was a suck ass move. I would have did him like to me. I know
because they always played him like a bitch the whole time. He was already the outcast son. He was already cast out to Black Mountain or whatever the fuck it was. He's been an outcast the whole thing. It's just like give him some sort of heroic.
Yeah, that was to me it was a sucker move. I would have made him do that.
Yeah.
What I would have made him do, I'd have made her tell her dragon to burn him.
Yeah.
Right? And when she burnt him, she'd have realized he can't die because he is half Targaryen.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'd have did something like that, but you make the midget the king. You know what I mean? Like, what's the midget name?
I forgot. But nah,
see,
not
I had to say midget. So any midgets watching this, I had to say midget.
Little
think
people.
Little people. But that's how I'd have did some stuff like that. Yeah. That's off the top of my head right now.
I probably would have made Arya queen of all the fucking kingdoms.
I could see that.
I probably would have made Arya. Maybe Arya and her brother, but not just him.
They had some good grimy characters on there too.
You know what's gangster is that the main character, the main reason for the entire, 7 series, was based off of fucking homeboy dying on the first show.
Ned Starks. Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah. You die, you're the main character. Still. Because still at the end, they're like, it's because you killed my father. It's just like, God damn. Like, we ain't over this nigga yet. Yeah. But that's the reason for this whole domino effect.
Let me give you some real quick. I'm gonna text them to you. You know why I didn't even, because you know what this.
So I just watched Nurse Ratched. That was good writing. What else did I just watch? I watched 3% was okay. 3% the first season was okay.
You ever see I know
Queen of the South is good. I don't know about Black as Fuck.
That's pretty cool. All right, it's not a 10. I'm not going. It's
confusing.
Why is it confusing? Let's have a conversation. Because there's a lot of people probably think the same thing. Why do you think it's confusing?
Because he already has Blackish, which is based on his life.
Right.
So why are you putting yourself in his show? I'm not saying don't put yourself in the show, but you put yourself in the same show, but the reality version.
I think he did that.
And then his real wife, divorced him. But this woman who's playing his wife, so I'm like, so is this a real reality show or not a reality show?
No, it's not a reality show.
Gotcha.
I think it's a fake reality show.
Fake reality show. Yeah. Because those aren't his kids.
No.
Got it.
No.
But he has that many kids, I think.
I don't know. I never did the research. Gotcha. But I
think so. I think that setup is his family.
I wonder when people get divorced, I'll be like, nah, what happened? Only reason I be wanting to know is just store in my head, like, all right, watch out for these things.
You know what scares me? And this is control and ego, which are both very bad things. I think people forget.
I agree.
Who was there?
I agree.